Chosen one, this message didn't find you by accident. God led you here for a divine reason. You didn't stumble across this moment. You were summoned. There's been a shift, a spiritual crossing. You've stepped into a realm where retreat is no longer an option, and returning to who you used to be is now impossible. You've entered what heaven calls the realm of no return, a sacred place where destinies are activated, mantles are made visible, and old versions of you are permanently left behind. This isn't just a season, it's a spiritual point of no return. The calling on your life is now commanding movement, and heaven has closed every door that used to hold you back. Let's break this down in 7 divine chapters, because what's happening to you right now is bigger than you think. Before we dive deep, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, because this message isn't just a video, it's a spiritual alert for the chosen ones who have just crossed over into the realm of no return. If your spirit resonates with this shift, type 77 in the comments right now. That number isn't just digits, it's a divine code, a sacred signal that you've entered alignment, stepped into activation, and are ready to walk fully in what God already ordained for you. Not everyone will finish this message, only those who've truly entered the point of no return. The ones who stay will receive divine clarity, prophetic insight, and supernatural peace about what's happening in their life right now. This isn't a message you hear once and move on. This is a living revelation, one that will unfold deeper each time you listen. So, return to it whenever your soul calls, because each time, another hidden layer will unlock, and another divine key will be handed to your spirit. Let's dive deeper. Chapter 1. God closed the exit behind you. Chosen one, hear this loud and clear. What you're feeling right now is not confusion, it's completion. You didn't just step into something new, you were delivered from something old. And heaven didn't leave the door cracked behind you. God sealed it shut, permanently. This wasn't a soft transition, this was a divine cutoff, because what you're stepping into now required the absolute ending of everything that once tried to define you, limit you, or falsely label you. You may still feel the echo of your past calling out to you. You may still be tempted to revisit certain people, places, or thought patterns, but when you try to go back, it doesn't feel the same. You don't fit. You don't feel seen. You don't even feel spiritually safe there anymore. That's not rejection. That's divine redirection. God didn't allow you to go back because there is nothing back there for you now. It served its purpose. It taught you the lesson. It revealed the truth. But now, it's over. Some relationships that used to feed you are now draining you. Some conversations that used to uplift you now disturb your peace. Some dreams you thought were yours no longer ignite your soul. Why? Because you're no longer operating at that level. You've outgrown the shell you were once placed in. God has spiritually upgraded your identity. And with that upgrade came a relocation, not just physically, but mentally, emotionally, and spiritually. You've been moved from the season of survival to the realm of assignment. And survival mindsets, survival circles, and survival habits simply can't follow you here. This new realm, the realm of no return, is where your true calling begins to activate. But it doesn't come with a safety net. There's no going back to hiding. There's no shrinking to make others comfortable. There's no more doubting whether you're really called. You are. Heaven confirmed it. That's why God made sure there was no way back. You can't go back to pretending you don't know what you know. You can't unhear the instruction. You can't unsee the vision. You can't unfeel the pull in your spirit that's been calling you higher. God closed the exit because your comfort zone was becoming a coffin. You were alive, but not living. You were functional, but not fulfilled. You were present, but not aligned. That's over now. And yes, it may feel scary to walk forward with no clear map, but God is the map, and He's leading you not by what's familiar, but by what's eternal. The old strategies don't work here. The old formulas can't apply, because this is the realm where you don't rely on what you see. You rely on what God said. You may be wondering why you feel isolated, invisible, or misunderstood right now. It's because you've crossed into a space that most people never reach. You've entered the sacred realm where mantles are activated and callings are clarified. And not everyone can walk with you here. Not because they're bad, but because they're not called to this level. This is where your faith becomes your fuel. This is where your obedience becomes your anchor. This is where your purpose begins to manifest, not by force, but by fire. Chosen one, God closed the exit behind you so you would stop questioning the entry. He closed it so you'd stop romanticizing what was meant to expire. He closed it so you would finally move like you belong here, not as a visitor, not as an imposter, but as an ordained inhabitant of this new realm. You didn't miss anything. You didn't lose anything. You shed what was no longer part of your next chapter. Chapter 2. The old you was left at the gate. Chosen one, something happened the moment you crossed over, and whether you felt it or not, heaven knows it took place. There was a breaking, a shedding, a quiet but powerful transformation. As you stepped into the realm of no return, something deep within you snapped off, and it wasn't pain. It was freedom. You may not have realized it, but you didn't walk into this realm as the same person who stood at the threshold. You were stripped as you stepped through. You didn't lose those things. They were removed from you by the hand of God Himself. Ego was peeled off. Fear was burned away. Insecurity was silenced. The need for validation was buried. The wounds that once drove your decisions were exposed and dismissed. Everything that was attached to your former identity was dropped at the gate, not because you tried to let it go, but because this realm has a security system, and it only grants access to the version of you that's been purified by purpose. This realm, the realm of no return, is holy ground. It doesn't permit contamination. It doesn't tolerate spiritual residue from your past life. It doesn't carry the weight of false identities, trauma responses, or survival instincts. The old you, the one that used to shrink in rooms, dim your light, overthink every move, say yes to things your spirit said no to. That version cannot exist in this atmosphere. And though part of you may grieve what you've left behind, the truth is, that version of you was never the real you. It was the wounded you, the masked you, the you that learned how to adapt in environments you were never meant to belong to. God didn't just bring you here to promote you. He brought you here to reveal you, to show you what was always buried underneath the brokenness, to let you meet the version of you that is finally unapologetic, unbound, and undistracted. You've been spiritually upgraded, and like any upgrade, it required a full system reset. Heaven had to uninstall some old programs that were running in the background of your soul. Self-doubt, people-pleasing, bitterness, shame, perfectionism. Those weren't just emotional struggles. They were spiritual viruses infecting your divine software. And God said, "We can't carry that into the next realm." So if you've felt disoriented lately, if you felt raw, exposed, or emotionally fragile, If you've been wondering why you feel like something is both missing and coming alive in you, that's the evidence. You've been peeled open for purpose. You're not breaking down, you're being rebuilt. That uneasiness you've been feeling, that's the old skin peeling off. That's heaven saying, you've officially outgrown what was never yours. This realm requires truth. It demands wholeness. And it only honors authentic alignment. You're not in a waiting room anymore. You're in a birthing room. And what you're giving birth to now is the real you, the healed you, the chosen you, the anointed you. Don't mourn what God stripped off of you. Don't try to reattach the identity you had to use to survive. Don't chase what was necessary in the wilderness, but deadly in your promised land. The version of you that played it safe, stayed small, feared rejection, and needed permission to be great, died at the gate. And in its place, heaven raised up someone unshakable. You are now walking as the vessel God always intended. Not who the world told you to be, not who trauma made you, not who people assumed you were. You're walking as the called one, the purified one, the unmasked one, and you're just getting started. Chapter 3, Heaven just released a new set of instructions. Chosen one, now that you've crossed into the realm of no return, the spiritual rules have shifted. The same strategies, routines, and instructions that sustained you in the last season will no longer carry you here. Why? Because you've stepped into a new dimension of purpose. And in this realm, heaven issues a new set of divine commands, ones that require sharper discernment, quicker obedience, and deeper trust. This is where your spiritual training intensifies. This is where God begins to speak more clearly, but also more suddenly. The way he moved before was wrapped in patience, grace, and gentle nudges. But now, his voice may come with urgency, with a weight that presses on your chest, or a word that interrupts your day. Expect to be awakened at night with specific instructions. Expect divine clarity to hit you mid-conversation. Expect unusual nudges that make no logical sense, but carry peace in your spirit. You're going to hear things like, "Go now," "Wait, don't respond," "Apply anyway," "Say no, even if it looks good," "Delete that," "Start over," and you'll know in your spirit, it's not your thoughts, it's instruction from heaven. In the realm of no return, obedience is your only GPS. You're not going to receive the full map. You're going to get pieces, breadcrumbs, one step at a time. You won't have a full 5-year plan. You'll have a daily word. You won't be told the outcome. You'll be told the next action. And this is exactly how God wants it, because he's building your faith muscle, not your control issues. He's retraining your instincts so you don't move from fear, pride, or past trauma, but from his voice. In the previous season, you may have leaned on logic, routine, or the approval of others, but that can't come with you here. In this realm, fleshly logic is dangerous. It will talk you out of the very thing you were born for. It will cause you to delay, question, or miss the moment altogether. God is no longer tolerating delayed obedience, because in this dimension of purpose, delayed obedience is disobedience. And disobedience can cost you the very door you've been praying for. This is why things may feel more intense lately. It's not pressure, it's precision. God is fine-tuning your sensitivity to his spirit. He's making your ears sharp to hear, your spirit alert to respond, and your steps ready to move the moment he speaks. You'll notice there's no time to overanalyze anymore. You won't have 3 days to consult 10 people. You won't be able to sit with it for a month. The instruction will come, sometimes quiet, sometimes loud, but always with divine urgency. And when you obey quickly, you'll notice something else. Supernatural acceleration. Doors that didn't open before will swing wide. Resources you didn't have will suddenly appear. People you were chasing will now be assigned to help you. Because in this realm, quick obedience unlocks rapid release. God isn't giving you random instructions. He's giving you targeted direction because He's trying to rush you into your destiny. But the key isn't in knowing everything. The key is in trusting every step, even when it doesn't make sense. Remember, Abraham didn't get the full map. He got a command. Noah didn't understand the rain. He got a blueprint. Moses didn't have GPS. He followed glory. You are now in the same spiritual realm, one where your ears must stay open, your heart must stay surrendered, and your spirit must stay ready. This realm doesn't reward planning. It rewards obedience. The instruction may not always be comfortable. It may not always be convenient. It may not always be what you wanted to hear, but it will always be divinely accurate. Chapter 4. People can't figure you out, and they're not supposed to. Chosen one of the clearest signs you've entered the realm of no return is this. People can no longer figure you out, and heaven doesn't require that they do. You've shifted, you've been spiritually elevated, and now you walk in rhythms, revelations, and realities that those who once knew you simply can't comprehend. But don't take it personal. This isn't about arrogance, it's about assignment. And when you're walking in divine assignment, confusion becomes the natural response of the people who were never meant to follow you into your next. They'll say, "You've changed. You're acting different. You don't vibe with us anymore. You're not the same." And they're right. You're not the same, because you're no longer who they remember. You're who God always knew you were becoming. The truth is, most people built their relationship with the older version of you, the one that was still healing, still doubting, still seeking approval, still trying to belong. They didn't see the inner wrestling. They didn't witness the midnight surrender. They weren't present for the private battles that broke you and rebuilt you into who you are now. They knew the version of you that tolerated too much, said yes too often, dimmed your light too quickly. But that version of you was a survival version. The real you, the anointed, appointed, mantle-carrying version, was hidden until now. People will try to track your movements, study your behavior, watch your posture, but it won't make sense to them, because they're trying to figure out a blueprint that God never gave them access to. They're trying to read a page in your story they were never supposed to turn. You're walking in divine timing. You're following whispers from heaven. You're making moves by spiritual instruction, not public opinion. Some will think you're being distant. Some will say you're too deep. Others will assume you've lost yourself. But what they don't know is you haven't lost yourself. You've found yourself in God. And in this realm of no return, clarity will cost you community. Elevation will cost you explanation. And obedience will cost you being understood. But let that be okay. Stop trying to reintroduce yourself to people who only loved the unhealed you. Stop exhausting yourself trying to explain what God is doing in your spirit to those who don't even believe in the realm you now dwell in. There's a reason heaven moved in silence over your life. Because your transformation is sacred, your alignment is fragile, and your instructions are for your ears only. This is your glow-up season, but it's spiritual first. Before they see the fruit, they'll sense the shift. Before they understand the assignment, they'll feel the distance. Because when the time is right, He'll reveal what He's been building in secret. But until then, walk boldly in mystery. Let your obedience speak louder than your explanations. Let your peace outlast their projections. Let your presence be prophetic, even if it's misunderstood. You don't owe anyone an explanation for what God is doing in you. You're not being standoffish, you're being set apart. You're not cold, you're covered. Chapter 5. The enemy can't track you in this realm. Chosen one, this is what the enemy feared all along. This is why the warfare before your transition was so intense. This is why everything tried to distract you, delay you, drain you, or destroy you just before your breakthrough. Because the enemy knew, if you ever crossed into this realm, you would become untouchable. You see, the attacks weren't random, they were strategic. Hell had intel on your potential. Demons were dispatched not because you were weak, but because you were close. Close to activation. Close to stepping into alignment. Close to becoming the version of you that can't be manipulated, distracted, or deceived anymore. The realm of no return isn't just a place of purpose, it's a place of protection. This realm is sealed. This realm is sacred. This realm is supernaturally secured by the Most High. The same enemy that studied you for years now stands at a distance, confused and disoriented. Why? Because the coordinates to your next move have been blurred by heaven itself. You're not walking in predictable patterns anymore. You're not cycling through the same traps anymore. You're not moving out of fear, trauma, pain, or need for approval anymore. You're moving in divine precision. You're flowing in prophetic rhythm. You're walking in spirit-led obedience. And the enemy can't track what's no longer reactive. He can't bait what's no longer hungry for validation. He can't confuse what is now grounded in truth. This is why certain attacks that used to work no longer touch you. This is why old temptations no longer tempt you. You've been hidden in plain sight, not invisible to the world, but invisible to the enemy's radar. He can't tell who's covering you. He doesn't understand why his normal tactics no longer land. But you know, it's because you're no longer trying to survive. You're finally walking in spiritual authority. And in this authority, you don't fight the same. You don't speak the same. Because your movements are no longer calculated by fear. They're orchestrated by heaven. It's not that you're suddenly stronger. It's that you're finally positioned. You're standing where God always wanted you to be. Not out of reach because of isolation. Out of reach because of elevation. The enemy can't follow you here because this level was never designed for him. This realm carries weight, clarity, oil, and protection that the adversary cannot imitate or infiltrate. This is what David meant when he said, "You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies." Your enemies are watching, but they can't touch. They see your glow, but can't dim it. They see your rise, but can't stop it. They see your peace, but can't disturb it. Because you're not on their level anymore. You're not in the realm of open warfare. You've been transitioned into the realm of divine concealment. In this place, your steps are ordered, your voice is sharper, your spirit is sealed, and your destiny is no longer up for negotiation. No weapon formed against you in this realm shall prosper, not because of your power, but because of your position. You're finally standing in your calling. You're finally aligned with God's will. And now, heaven is defending what you carry. Chapter 6. You're about to see supernatural speed. Chosen one, this is where everything begins to shift, not slowly, but suddenly. Now that you've entered the realm of no return, the delays you once endured are being reversed by divine momentum. You're not crawling through purpose anymore. You are now in a realm where God says, "Now watch how fast I move." This is supernatural speed, not man-made shortcuts, not forced connections, but heaven-ordained acceleration, the kind that makes up for lost time and sets you ahead without effort. You'll see doors swing open before you even knock. You'll receive confirmations before you even form the question. Provision will find you before you announce the need. Because in this realm, you're not chasing purpose, you're finally walking in it. You're going to feel like time is bending around you. What should take years will happen in months. What others struggle for, you'll receive through alignment. Supernatural speed isn't logical, it's spiritual. This is called compounded favor, where one act of obedience unlocks 10 blessings, where one divine yes shifts generations. You've entered a momentum that can't be replicated by hustle. This isn't happening because you networked right. It's happening because you obeyed right. But let this be a word of wisdom. When things begin to move fast, move with focus. Supernatural speed is not an excuse for spiritual carelessness. Not everything that claps for you is cheering for you. Some are just waiting to monitor what they can't stop. Stay focused, stay low, stay surrendered. You didn't enter this realm for attention. You entered for assignment. This isn't about showing off your elevation. It's about staying faithful to your instruction. God didn't accelerate you so you could impress people. He accelerated you because there's something urgent on your life. That's why the speed is coming. Because time is being redeemed for the sake of your calling. So don't apologize when people say, "You're moving fast." You're not ahead of schedule. You're exactly on time for what was written about you. Every delay, every rejection, every moment that felt like nothing was happening, it was all part of a divine setup. Heaven wasn't denying you. It was preparing the realm so that when you stepped into it, everything would be ready. This is why it felt like you were behind, because God was working on something bigger than what you could see. And now that the alignment has clicked into place, now that your spirit is synced with God's will, acceleration is here. So keep your hands clean, keep your heart pure, and don't stop for anything or anyone that pulls you out of pace. You're not running to compete, you're running to complete. This race isn't about speed, it's about obedience. And you, chosen one, are moving in divine rhythm. God isn't just speeding things up, He's multiplying the impact. And every step you take now will ripple into places your feet may never touch. This is your moment. This is your lane. This is your divine flow. Don't fight it. Don't fear it. Just move with it. Chapter 7, you can never go back, and you won't want to. Chosen one, let this truth settle in your spirit. You've entered the realm of no return, and there's no going back. But here's the beauty of it all. You won't even want to. This isn't just a new chapter. It's a total transformation. The old version of you didn't just get left behind. It was removed so the real you could emerge. This isn't emotional hype. It's divine alignment. Your old life has no place here. Old habits, old fears, old environments. They've all expired. There is no reverse gear in destiny. Once God shifts you forward, nothing behind you can compare to what's ahead. You've tasted purpose. You've felt the weight of your anointing. You've stepped into your identity. And now average can't satisfy you. This realm changes your appetite. What used to excite you now seems empty. What used to trigger you now empowers you. What used to hold you now bows to your authority. You won't need closure or long explanations. You'll begin to see clearly that what you lost wasn't necessary for where you're going. The rejection, the delay, the separation, all of it was a setup for your elevation. You're not just being led by God now, He's walking with you. Each step is divinely guided. You're no longer hoping things work out. You're watching them unfold exactly as heaven planned. You're about to walk into rooms you used to dream about. You're becoming what heaven always saw. Not because you forced it, but because you aligned with it. You've obeyed your way into manifestation. You won't miss what's behind you. Not because it was all bad, but because what's ahead is so much better. This isn't nostalgia, it's clarity. This isn't going in circles. It's divine direction.